Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about the Toronto Raptors. So last season, I dropped a preview video right before this season, and I said that they were going to get the 4th seed, advance past the first round of the playoffs, take down the Brooklyn Nets in the first round, and unfortunately it was actually kind of close, but that didn't come true. I have a new prediction here today based on just Raptors preseason basketball, the evolution, continual progression and development of guys like Scotty Barnes, Delano Banton. I'm loving Delano Banton right now. Precious Achiuwa might be... I don't like the way they do most improved right now. Like, personally, I don't understand why John Morant won it last season. So I don't think Precious Achiuwa is necessarily going to win most improved, but I think he'll be in the running. I mean, he's very good at basketball. 40% from downtown in the second half of the season. I have a prediction, and it's very bold. I think it's very bold for the Toronto Raptors. I don't think Raptors fans will think it's that bold. However, before we get into this video, if you guys enjoy it, hit that like button, hit that sub button. It is officially opening night in the NBA, and we're back. We're back, man. It feels great to be back, so stay tuned for daily NBA content and plenty of Toronto Raptors videos. So, yesterday, on my show, Ciro Seo and I, our daily live NBA show, links down below if you want to check it out, I did power rankings. So I do these power rankings. I'm going to be doing them every week. And I had Toronto, I thought pretty solid ranking at 10. I gave Toronto 10. Because there's a couple of things I want to see beforehand. Because I think by the end of the season, Toronto's going to be one of the best teams in the NBA. I think they're going to be really clicking and hitting their groove by the end of the season. It's going to come down to health. Is really just going to come down to health and also a little bit of the backup point guard play, which we'll talk in a little bit. But real quick, let's get this prediction out. I think they're going to make the Eastern Conference Finals. You know, I think my prediction for Toronto is I think they'll win somewhere between 53 and 55 wins. I think that they'll be, my guess is the 3rd seed in the Eastern Conference. And I think especially if you have some other teams that are getting banged up, I think the Eastern Conference is solid. However, I do have concerns for teams like Milwaukee. I have big concerns for the Miami Heat. I have huge concerns for the Boston Celtics. I think there's a window right here for Toronto. And what we saw last season was, you know, we saw like kind of like a superstar in Pascal Siakam. I mean, this guy, 23, 9, and 5. We knew Siakam was really good, right? We knew once he got healthy, we knew he was really good. But Siakam really demonstrated last season just how good of a passer he is to me. And unfortunately, Freddie got injured. And Freddie got injured at the worst possible time, towards the end of the season into the playoffs. It was the worst possible time for Freddie to get injured because he's an all-star. 24-7 for Freddie V, my Rockford boy. Like, you have your 2 stars right there. Right, I think Siakam's going to reestablish himself as a superstar in this league, or at least borderline superstar. I mean, you know, there's so many comparisons to, you know, player A, player B. One of them's Siakam, the other is like Tatum, and it's just not too far off. Or the other is Jaylen Brown, it's not too far off. Siakam's really good. We were reminded of that last season. And once the playoffs came, Philly did a good job of guarding him in the first couple of games because of how banged up Toronto was. They were throwing doubles at him regardless, and then they were throwing even triples, and they were trapping him whenever he got the ball. Toronto didn't have enough by the playoffs. And this upcoming season, I think that OG Anunoby is going to establish himself as maybe he won't get it, but I think he's going to be right there at 20 points per game. I think if he can just play over 55 basketball games for Toronto, they are going to be that much better. That's how good of OG is. 3-and-D, great player. If he has some injury concerns, maybe they ship him off and try and get some more depth. I'm not quite sure what they're going to do. I don't even want to talk about trading OG Anunoby right now, but it's just something to keep in your back pocket. Toronto's flexible right now. They're very flexible, right? Precious Achiuwa, like I said, could legitimately be a most improved candidate. Like I said, I don't like the way they run it. I don't really like the awards in general, man. I was listening to The Athletic today, and I think they had a bunch of people who vote for him, and I'm like, I'm listening to these guys? This guy won't, I don't know. It just frustrates me. That's for a whole different day. The NBA award shows, that's for a whole different day. But Precious Achiuwa, I think he's poised. I think he's poised for a breakout season here. Like, right here, right now. Precious Achiuwa, 9-7 last season. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Precious Achiuwa putting up like 13-8-3 with 37.5% from downtown. I mean, Precious is a dog. He can guard multiple defenders. It's just one hell of a basketball player. Somebody I really feel comfortable with as young as he is, entering his third season. I think he's about to ascend to the moon right here, or start to ascend to the moon. Now, Scotty Roy. A lot of what Toronto can do and a lot of what Toronto can be capable of this season is going to come down to Scotty Roy. Last season, 15, 8, and 4. Now, we're going to see the three-point shot. If Scotty Barnes is shooting anywhere over 33.5% from downtown, I mean, Scotty's probably going to be putting up close to 20 regardless. But if he's shooting over 33.5% from downtown, Scotty's probably easily covering 20 a night most nights, and he'll probably average over 20 on a season. Scotty Barnes is one phenomenal basketball player. And he even really helps your bench unit. If you have Scotty Barnes in 4 or 5 minutes with your starters, throw him out there with the bench, get him running with Delano Banton and or Malachi Flynn, there's plenty of playmaking there. So that's what I like about Nick Nurse and the Toronto Raptors. Obviously the positionless basketball where the rotations are like, a lot of these guys are almost interchangeable in the sense where I can rely on them. I can trust them to do a multitude of different things. They can all do a multitude of different things. Most of these guys can play different positions. They can guard multiple positions. They can switch on to guards. They can switch on to big men and hold their own until help comes. So I do think we'll see Scotty Barnes, just like we did last season, running sometimes with that bench unit just to get everything going. Now, there are some flaws with this roster, all right? Now, getting Otto Porter Jr. was a huge move. Drafting Christian Koloko he's probably going to have an impact in his rookie season, especially Toronto's track record with young talent. I think Christian Koloko was a great draft pick. I think that it was a very deep draft, and you will probably see the 7-footer get some run in this season, and I think he'll do pretty well, and I think he'll stay in that rotation. Now, they also have guys like I said, new addition Otto Porter Jr. He will be back soon. You have Thaddeus Young that you acquired at the the deadline last season. You also have new addition Juancho Hernan-Gomez, who in the Euro ball just balled his ass off. I mean, he just balled his ass off. Juancho Hernan-Gomez is a good basketball player, and if there was somewhere he could go to revive his career, it was Toronto. All right. I even like guys like Champagnie. Champagnie, I was pleased to see that he got the run. So the backup point guard is that's a big deal this year. Now, from what I saw in the preseason, I might be giving the nod to Delano Banton. I have high hopes. I had high hopes for Malachi Flynn. I think a lot of people last season, when Summer League first happened last year, everybody saw Delano Banton's potential. It was almost like, wow, yeah, he's probably not going to be with the G League. He's probably going to be on our roster, and he's probably going to play every night. And that's what happened. Delano Banton, I saw him listed at 6'9" with a 6'11" wingspan. I mean, he might be your future at point guard. Delano Banton, I think, is poised for a level up. I think he's poised for a level up. And if you can get Delano Banton to level up right here, right now, that makes your team that much deeper. So if they can stay healthy and see the continual progression and development of these young guys, and just stay healthy, once again, stay healthy, I really think this team could make the Eastern Conference Finals. So let me know what you guys are thinking. As always, hit that like button, hit that sub button. But go ahead, drop some predictions down below. Where do you see Toronto finishing this season? Peace.